The horns sound as the village battle commences. This is one of Bannerlord's most breathtaking mods. Del Arte de la Guerra is set in the 15th century during the time of the War of the Roses. And my god, is this gameplay another level. I've made countless videos on this modification so far, but recently we've had something completely new being shown, and I just had to let you guys know about it. The full video will be linked in the description along with the mod DP page. Please go and support these guys. But this village battle really shows off what we're going to be getting. If you saw on the right hand side there when we had a little pan round, they're actually putting in custom maps in terms of the buildings, a bit more suited to the 15th century off on the right hand side. None of those wooden huts like we get with Caradia and Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord's base game, but it is the clash in the center that we're really looking at here. Another addition to the banners being held by the troops themselves, walking in line formation ready to clash in the center. A bloody and muddy, breathtaking bit of skirmish. It reminds me something similar to the King. That massive clash in the middle, not quite being able to tell who's on your side. However, it looks like we're going a little bit more historically accurate here. Actually having some really nice colors here to be able to show who's on whose side. Cavalry riding around the back in their full plate armor and of course tournament lances, looking goddamn brilliant and will assuredly be brutal when it really comes to the clash. Pikemen and glavemen will be doing their stabby goodness from the back ranks, and archers with their longbows will be shooting over the top, something that we saw a bit earlier on in the video. I love the custom buildings over there, and I really hope that we get to see something a little bit later on of a closer look just to see all these new assets that they've put in. Because it goes without saying that the armor is one thing, the weapons are another. The flags that haven't been in Bannerlord until, of course, Bannerlord's most recent full release patch, and the cavalry, especially the plate armor, really makes you feel like you're in with this War of the Roses campaign. Very much a civil war feel between these British medieval factions. Late in the medieval era, however, technology is advancing, and maybe we might even see some sort of hand cannons later on. Feathers, of course, to top the cap to make sure you know your prowess and your wealth within this country. It looks like we've got crossbowmen in the background as well. I did mention archers, but I'm sure we're going to be getting other skirmish troops and other projectile-based infantry as well. Now, there are some issues. This is Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord after all, and still, the troops don't behave like they really should. You can see here some basic lines, people kind of forming up, but it's nothing really on a level that would make you comfortable feeling like this is how it would realistically look. The cornfields add a really nice factor. There is no sort of stealth mechanics within Bannerlord at the moment, but I know for a fact that there are mods that are working on some sort of troop dispersion within fields and trees to make it a bit easier to ambush upon enemies. Not necessarily something that will be in here, but it's something to take a note of. You can see when our main character is blocking here, they hold a half-sworded grip. This is something that we haven't seen in any Bannerlord mods so far. Of course, it's not going to be able to have that longer reach, but you're going to be able to be much more accurate with your pinpointed stabs, getting between the chinks in the armor. And I really love that that's been added in. Are there going to be your switching between different grips? Who knows? Bannerlord is not really a game that offers itself up to that kind of thing at this point in time, but modders have been able to do pretty much anything. And as I say that, we have been shown that he switched back to the one-handed grip. Well, I guess I should just leave. Archers are firing, trying to cover the men's retreat as they need to reform. The enemy forces have dispersed a lot, but there seem to be some reinforcements in the back, and we get a closer look at the longbows. They are really, really fascinating, and I can't wait to see how they play in effect in the battles. Of course, armor is very powerful at stopping this kind of archery at this point in history. However, I mean, we saw at Agincourt that you can never underestimate a good longbowman. Once again, a 15th century battle, so we could see some similar arms and armor within the mod itself. The mod is going to include many things for man-at-arms, such as maces, axes, hammers, of course, all having their different effects on people with different amounts of armor. These heavy-plated knights that we can see on horseback are not going to be cheap. You're going to have to spend a lot of time working up your money and your reputation in order to... Did you just see that? So can I just pause the video? Did that guy... Sorry, did you just... Oh my god, he's got a ballista. He sent him flying. You're going to have to spend a lot of time working up your reputation and money, and of course gaining the horses in order to fund an army of knights. I really hope that they add a little bit more realism to what we get in Mount and Blade, where it's pretty easy to grow an army a sizable. Some other mods that would work pretty well with this are of course the banner mods, but not necessarily needed now we have full banners added in Mount and Blade's base game, but also the realistic tactics where armies are led and formed up the way that you'd expect them to be, not just, well, clashing in the center in a big mush. Of course, at the top you can see that we have custom troops and custom lords, being able to give your troops orders if you delegate command as such. The saddle looks really nice. It's got that little back brace to make sure a heavily armed knight doesn't fall off. Of course, adding that extra weight is going to make them less stable when on horseback, and every slight move that the horse makes is going to be duplicated tenfold with the momentum that it takes you down with if you've got that heavy armor. Moving forward, we have a little bit of more horseback gameplay, and we're going into the town, crossing the water and getting a closer look at the beautiful custom crafted stonework and masonry. This mod has had so much effort that's been put into it. We also have some ships on the right hand side. However, there is no confirmation whether they'll be usable on the campaign, much like the Europe mod has. Overall, for me, there is a hell of a lot of excitement for Del Arte del Guerra. They have a lot of interesting things that they're planning on putting in, but Bannerlord can often hold it back. The modding tools that Tailwoods have released are incredibly sufficient, but I think there's still a lot of things that modders are looking for. The War of the Roses campaign will be the first single-player campaign that they're working on with the English factions of Lancaster and York, including factions such as Wales, Scotland and Ireland as well. You're going to be able to see mercenaries from the continent such as the Flemish, and they're going to try and expand it out as much as possible. One thing I'm really excited to see is the difference between your base infantry of more levies that have come into the battle, that have been recruited out of their homes, and the difference between the richer knights with their plate armor and heavy lances. This kind of variation hasn't been shown much in the base game of Bannerlord, so hopefully Del Arte del Guerra will bring this variety to the masses. But let me know what you think. I cannot wait for this mod, and the new bit of gameplay has made me so much more excited. But until then, I will see you in the next one.